Hey, everybody. It's Thursday, October 23rd. We got a little afternoon delight.
Okay, he's already screwing it up.
With two studs, a dud, and Mark.
And Shemp.
Whoa, yo.
Shemp. Well, the first segment for today is one is close to my heart. This past weekend, round 2 of the No Kings rally. Now, I don't know how many of you saw the videos.
Some. When you say round 2, though, are we talking locally, statewide, nationally?
They've both been national, as far as I know. Right? Yeah, the first one was national.
Just making sure the people know.
Oh, I'm sure they know. I'm sure they've seen the freaks on display at this parade, we'll call it. I think you guys are well aware of my opinion on this.
What? No.
We don't have kings. We are not going to have kings. So you're out there looking like complete morons, which they do, for absolutely no reason other than to get out on a weekend for some reason. I don't get it.
I think you're selling it short.
I don't know. I'd like to know what everyone else's opinion is of this.
This is exactly what Democrats thought of MAGA when it started.
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
Okay.
This is exactly what they thought. These guys are fringe. They're crazy.
Well, they are crazy.
And next thing you know, they're in control of everything. Got to keep an eye on this movement.
That's why we're talking about it.
I know, but I'm just saying, I think this is going to be the beginning of the Democrats finally finding some cohesion.
I don't see that.
So
you just need a message. It doesn't even have to make any sense.
That, there's usually people at these things paid people.
Oh, of course.
And so I'm the paid plant on this show. I'm paid to be Steve's opposite.
You're not giving you money if that's what you think. We'll give you a free coffee every now and then. Yeah. Actually, Mark paid for that.
I mean, of course we're not going to admit that on air. So I, in one of these rare instances, I'm going to sort of agree with Steve.
No, that's fine.
In that, I think that the name and the message behind these protests don't make sense. If you don't like Trump and you wanna protest Trump, just say, hey, I don't like our president and I want to protest our president.
Absolutely.
But the king thing just sort of throws me, because at no point has he ever claimed to be a king.
Well, nobody's saying that.
Well, sure. Well,
that's
we're saying
the name of the rally.
But the name of the rally is no king.
And actually, didn't the
rally to imply that we are not ruled by a king?
Didn't the rally initially start because there was rumors Trump was going to go for a third term?
Yes,
I believe that was the point.
Or not. That's kind of where the no kings comes from. Yes,
which was a troll back then, and it's still a troll. Absolutely. He's not going to be there past 28. So all you idiots that think he might be, you're an idiot.
I don't think anybody.
Oh, there's people that legitimately.
I'm sure there are people that are scared to death.
There are people that are scared of that,
which makes no sense, because people like me would never even allow that.
But until it happens, it's a little bit of a weird fear.
It is a very weird. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. What you got, Mark?
Well, it's not a monarchy, right? So there's checks and balances.
Yes,
it's a dictatorship.
If he was a king, wouldn't the government be running right now and not shut down?
Right.
But he keeps on trying to. He keeps on trying to enlarge and expand the presidential powers to things that they haven't historically had.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Like bringing the National Guard into cities. Things like that.
Because he's doing that or wanting to do that doesn't mean it couldn't have been done before.
No, right. And that's something that the courts are having to go through.
The National Guard has been sent in before.
And or some people are defending him by saying,
against the city's wishes. Yeah. They've always been brought in when they needed it.
Well, the problem with that now is that you don't get people that will compromise with each other. You have a very polarized side on the liberal and a polarized side for MAGA.
Absolutely.
And if you have a liberal in charge of a certain city, even if it's the best thing Trump could possibly do for that city, they will absolutely say no.
But there's still always a difference. There's a difference. States have powers and the federal government has powers.
And obviously he is well within his rights because he did it.
Well, he's been stopped in several cities now by the courts.
Not yet.
He hasn't put them into Chicago or Portland, right? Portland,
they're in Portland, and they're going into Chicago.
Well, hold on. Let's make a distinction here, right? So, as the president, he can dispatch them, but those cities have the right to say, "Whoa, we didn't ask for this," and that's what the challenges are coming from, because they're saying, "Yeah, go ahead, dispatch, but we're not going to make it easy for you if we don't agree with your presence here."
Well, that's not what they're saying. They're saying it's illegal. He does not have those powers. Not that he's a criminal for doing it.
No,
but he does because he did it.
And so
we have 3 branches of government, and not one of them did anything to stop it.
Well, there are court cases.
Yeah, but the court cases aren't going to the Supreme Court. They're going to some liberal local court.
Eventually, they would go to
eventually
the
they
Supreme Court.
would, yes.
They have to work their
the
way
ones
up.
that are issuing these injunctions, which we've talked about this before, is absurd
Nothing
that a local
starts in the
judge
Supreme Court.
can tell the president yes or no. That blows my mind.
Well,
some
they
idiot
can't.
in
Local judges
Montana that hates Trump, they can go to him and say, "We need you to say no to this." And you'll be like, "Oh, this is no."
It's still got to
no
be a
for me.
federal judge, not
It's
a local
still ridiculous, though, that a federal
These are the
judge.
checks and balances that we were speaking of.
But I'm saying the checks
the
and
way the government
balances,
was set up.
the checks and balances for the president should be Supreme Court. Period.
But that's not how the government was ever
That's
set
how
up.
it should be. Well,
that's
you think it was set up initially that a local judge could tell the president no?
It's not a local judge. You keep saying local.
It is
has
a local.
a federal judge.
But he's still localized to one area of one state.
Well, so
He's not from Washington.
what
It's not like a
judges
judge
go all
in
over the
Washington.
place besides the Supreme
Washington, the Supreme Court covers the entire country.
Right, but they only do
That's it, though.
appeals. They only hear appeals.
But they should make something where that is the only person that can say yes or no to a president when someone contests an action of a president. Otherwise,
nothing would ever get
you're just wasting time.
Now hold on. So, but if the only check for the president was the Supreme Court, and then the president's the one who gets to appoint the Supreme Court justices,
well, that's why they like to appoint.
you know what I
justices.
mean? That's why that's not the
But
check, because
Every Supreme Court justice wasn't appointed by Trump.
Exactly. No one's saying that.
But you, just like how we're saying how like stuff's the president is utilizing things that maybe other presidents haven't, but he's still allowed to. You could have a term in which all the justices went under and one president was appointing. At which point, that's why those checks are there, because you don't want one guy saying.
Do you know what the sad thing about that is? Is they tried to get that Ruth Bader Ginsburg to retire before she died.
Yeah.
Because it would have been during Biden's term, right?
Sure.
Was it
I
Biden's
don't
term?
remember now.
Well, whoever's. I think it was Biden's
It was a Biden term.
Yeah, so they could have appointed one through the Democratic president. And
Right.
she decided she didn't want to do that, and that ultimately ended up screwing them.
But they are always like trying to appoint.
They try to
Anytime they
appoint-
have an opportunity to appoint somebody by their party, they're going to do it.
They try to appoint
Either
someone
party.
that agrees with their
Yes,
positions.
either
Yes,
party.
Well, of course.
absolutely. Both parties do that. Yes.
That makes sense, right?
Yes.
It would be weird if you had a Republican nominating a Democrat or a Democrat nominating. It just
But
it'd be weird.
it shouldn't even be the case. Though. It should be you're nominating the best person for that job.
You're right, but that it doesn't.
And that's why every time when they vet them, they all say that they're not going to be partisan and they're only going to go by the law. But you're influenced by your things that you feel inside. You can't help it.
Well, a couple of them that Trump appointed actually voted against him a few times.
Oh no, I'm not saying that. That's what they should do. I mean, they
law
should
is
be
the
going
law.
by the law. Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
So I don't understand.
Nice.
But other than, say, like what you mentioned, putting the National Guard in, what other things has he done that have been even controversial?
Yeah, we've kind of got off topic.
I was gonna say I don't know how much, like, we could keep talking about this, but this isn't all necessarily Kings related.
But it's all the reason that they are doing these protests in the first place.
But the fact that this debate's even going on, this no king thing, like clearly he's not a king. So
The
I don't
no
understand
king
why
thing,
calling
I like
the
that.
protest is no kings.
That's why they called it initially when
That's
they
just
named
their
it.
catchy phrase for it.
Yeah.
Like
Okay.
this week, before
Marketing.
the rally, I saw some of the organizers on TV, and even though it is definitely anti-Trump, obviously, they were saying it's more about the power, it's the money, like the oligarchy now, the way that anybody can contribute to a political campaign. You can contribute as much as you want.
Oh, did they take away
And-
like campaign finance stuff?
There are ways around the
'Cause, I
campaign
mean, I
finance.
thought the
laws.
last time they like made tweaks to that, it was like you had to contribute to super PACs instead of people.
Well, that's
but,
what it
but
is.
like the super PACs can just give the money to the
Yes.
people.
Yes.
So
Yes.
it's just it's like a loophole.
Yes.
Yeah.
So they were saying it's more about that. It's more about the money and the power that the rich have over the poor.
Now,
And it's definitely not only that. It's obviously Trump too.
to circle back to the main topic though, and I agree that the messaging is not consistent, doesn't make sense, going under the no king banner. I will still grant that they have the right to protest,
Absolutely.
whether we like it or
No one's
like,
debating that.
That's one thing too. Just to interrupt you, but it was
Interrupt me.
peaceful.
Yeah.
It was nice that
To a degree, yes.
7 million people,
Yeah.
and there weren't burnings and
Well,
there
that's true.
weren't
It wasn't like
riots. No.
the riots
I'm
in
not
2020
saying there wasn't
when they
any
were doing
individual.
when they were doing the Black Lives Matter
Yes.
protests.
Yes.
There were riots and destruction all across the country.
Right.
Was that before or after COVID started though? Because I wonder
That
if
was
some of that
during
was
COVID.
That might have been some of that could have been COVID stir craziness. Like when you shut down the whole world, people act weird.
It was like 2020. It wasn't like that deep into COVID. It had just started.
COVID started in March of 2020. That much I remember. Because
that's when all the protests. They called the summer of 2020 the summer of love because they were burning everything down.
I'll tell you why. I'll always remember why that was in March of 2020. Right, like March 14th, I think. Like right around then is when stuff started to come out. I had freaking tickets to see Adam Sandler at Turning Stone. You know, he'd never come to Upstate before. I had great seats. I'd splurged. COVID hit and they delayed, and then delayed and delayed and delayed and delayed.
Did they ever have it?
No, but he had a tour that just came through, but this time I missed the tickets for it. This time he was in Syracuse.
So you got your money back for your ticket.
Yeah, eventually, yeah. But it was still like, I was like, oh my God, why now?
Why does everything happen to me? A worldwide pandemic just when I was going to see Adam Sandler.
Why did you do this to me, Adam?
There we go. There we go.
Your blessing is getting better.
But if you watch any of this is my biggest problem with not only do they look like freaks out there, and I don't know how much of it you saw. I saw a clip. It's from every city. They were in every major city. They are a bunch of nut jobs.
There were definitely a lot of fringe.
Holy shit. And there were a shit ton of senior citizens out there.
And a lot of people that really didn't know why they were kind of there for the weekend.
That was going to be my next point.
Almost a party type atmosphere.
That's exactly what it was. I think they got as many people as they did because they were bored and wanted to get out.
But all I'm saying is I think it's the beginning. It could be the beginning of a movement. It might not be.
I don't see it.
I feel like it is.
I think it could be in the same vein that you remember the conservative one they had 10-15 years ago. Was it a Tea Party? Mm-hmm. The Tea Party was a movement for a little bit.
Well, that's what MAGA came out of that, really.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But I only saw the videos of the local stuff. I didn't see anything like crazy or looked like anything like out of the ordinary from any other local protests or events. But I didn't watch any other ones. So.
There's a handful of YouTubers that were going around and interviewing people at the protests, and they were just rude, violent.
The YouTubers?
The people that they were trying to interview.
Okay.
And all of these in the major cities, I don't know if it happens like locally, but in the major cities, they actually have the people that are on their payroll will follow the YouTubers around, and they'll hold signs up that says right-wing troll with an arrow and then they'll have like little portable Bluetooth speakers. They'll put them by the microphones. You can't hear what they're saying. And every time they go to try to interview somebody, the people that are working for the protest go to these people and say, don't talk to them. They're just going to take everything you say out of context. They're going to, and it happens every single time with every single one of these YouTubers. So it's not like an isolated incident where this one person showed up somewhere. It's every single one of them. It's disgusting. And that's what they do. And the whole point of these people going out there is to try to find out exactly why are you here? What are your beliefs? What makes you come out of your house with some words on a cardboard sign attached to a stick and come out in the street and protest? And most of them have absolutely no idea what they're doing.
They're bored.
But that's the thing.
That's the thing with it. They're bored and have nothing else going on.
Like you said, I know what you're saying, but what makes 7 million people? 7 million?
7 million's not
nationwide.
Not nothing. How many voted for Kamala?
That's not voting. That is protesting. When's the last time we had 7 million people out there protesting?
I'd guarantee that 50% of them had no clue why they were out there.
And it was in the fall. I mean, it wasn't a beautiful day. It was a nice
beautiful day.
It was a nice day.
The fall's the best time to protest.
It was. We also have a relatively mild fall.
Yeah, probably was
anyway.
Pretty nice.
If you're going to protest, this is the season to do it.
You think this is the start of something? You think there's momentum here? And you think this is the XFL?
I think absolutely. I think
week one, the ratings are great, and then you go to week
to me,
two,
it feels like just like when MAGA started, because everybody thought it was fringe and it was like the far right.
You both think that
and
it's something?
It was far right to begin with, and it came more mainstream, started picking up votes. And this obviously wouldn't have, I don't think this, like, as it is right now, is going to get anyone elected.
No.
But
I don't think it's going to change
I think it'll move to more toward the mainstream as they go. They'll get a more
even if they get 14 million, it's going to be 14 million of the same person that's going to vote the same way as them, and they always were going to vote that way, and they always will vote that way. They're not going to come to like someone that's in the middle of the road, and someone's going to see this and go, Oh my God, you really changed my mind.
But 7 million
that
people-
dinosaur costume. Oh,
Yeah, those are
okay.
silly. That's just
They can have 50 million people out there. Those people are going to vote the same way every single time. You're not going to get someone that's conservative, and you're not going to get someone that's in the middle to change their vote because of these protests.
All right, then it don't matter.
Period.
I think you would get some of the middles.
No,
You will, but-
absolutely will not.
Well, that's the whole point.
It's
of
going to
being in the middle,
move
'cause you
toward the
gotta
middle.
pick
That's
one.
what'll happen.
No, it won't.
See, yeah, I'm a middle, and I look at this and I shake my head. And then the other side too, same thing.
Yeah.
and that's not going to change my
It's
mind.
not swaying you either way. You're going to vote on the person.
If you don't like Trump, all right, you're a Democrat, you don't like Trump. Find a good candidate for the next election. Something that would speak to that middle part.
Yes.
And actually make a difference.
Right.
Do
And
it the right way.
that's why Democrats are panicking right now, because they don't really have anybody
have it.
other than Gavin Newsom.
Honestly,
he's like their only hope right now.
There's him and
He's
AOC
terrible.
are the only
AOC
two
is
people
more
with
if he
any
was eligible
name
for president.
recognition.
AOC is way
right
too
now.
fringe. You're not going to get middle
Arnold
America to vote for
You
him.
know, that's what I'm saying. But
he's actually like
she
a
might move
decent
toward the middle.
Republican.
What?
I'm sorry.
We
go
were
ahead.
having our own conversation.
You can't do that in a podcast. Talk to the microphone and to all of us.
Our bad.
I said that who I would vote for as a Republican candidate for president if he was allowed, because he's ineligible to be president.
Because he wasn't born here?
Yeah,
Schwarzenegger.
Yeah,
Son of a
dude,
bitch.
he's such a good
Arnold.
Republican.
He was a moderate.
Yeah. Well, he was one of the ones that was going around the last election. He was paying to have polling places reopened in counties all across the country where they were underfunded or defunded and they didn't have workers.
Sure.
I'm like, I love that.
Yeah,
Like, he didn't-
absolutely.
it didn't
Everybody's
matter.
vote should count.
It didn't matter if
Absolutely.
they were Republican or liberal leaning districts.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, that's the kind of candidate I like. And if he wants to, Republican, Democrat, whatever the heck he is, I'd have voted for him.
Oh, Mark has his hand up.
I'm 20 minutes late here, but going back to the no king,
Come on.
the no kings with Trump, they don't want him to go have a third term, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, it's been in the Constitution that it's only 2 terms.
Correct.
Yeah.
What happened in World War II? Why did Franklin Roosevelt get a third term? Just
It had wartime
because
powers, I
war-
believe it
was.
was.
World War II, let him go?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was there an election that year?
I think they,
1944?
I think they
postponed it?
I believe they.
I think they had it. Didn't they?
I thought
have an
that.
election?
What's that thing called? martial law.
I don't know if they use martial
So
law.
is
for
what
that.
we're saying, there's
I'd
a
have to
gray
look into it.
area?
I'm not 100% sure.
Gray area
I would say
wartime
if
kind
we
of
have a
thing?
gigantic war, World War III erupts and it's during our election season, that might change something.
Yeah.
Wow.
But of course,
scary.
but since we've had Trump, he's the one shutting down all the wars around the world. He's one of the first presidents coming in that doesn't want new wars. It's crazy. But like I said, they go around and interview all these people, and they have no idea what they're talking about. They have no idea why they're out there. And then if they ever push any of them, they all walk away. Like, well, why exactly? I mean, you say he's an authoritarian. What has he done that's what would you classify as an authoritarian? What action has he done that affected you in that way?
Then they say,
None of them can answer it.
Leave me alone.
Can I answer Mark's question quick?
I like
Yes.
that. Yeah.
Because of Roosevelt's third term, a decade later, they passed a law that they changed the Constitution.
Beforehand.
So beforehand,
it was
they could do
before
three.
that was.
So it was
the
an
case.
amendment.
There were no 3-termers until him. I find that hard to believe.
Yep.
So for any of you liberals out there, we're pushing for a third term, 2028.
We're gonna.
He's going to be
Amend the
84 or something.
Constitution.
Yeah, we're going to amend it right here.
Well,
Why don't we do it for 4
I think
terms? That way, when he's 89, he can still run.
Still keep going.
I think.
keep going.
I think
We'll have
I mean,
embalmed presidents.
They just.
Oh my God.
Could they remove an amendment, or would you have to do an amendment?
Well, an
to-
amendment, you have to do an amendment to the amendment.
so
It's called an amendment, though, so you can amend it, obviously.
Yeah, that seems silly. Though.
So just to get the
I'm not
libs,
saying I
the
want
libs
it,
all
I
messed
just-
up, we're going to push for this amendment. Let's amend the amendment.
God.
It's so stupid. But the whole point of this rally, I don't understand it. I can believe that. I disagree with them. So we'll see how it plays out.
Yeah, I
I'm
don't know
curious.
what's going to happen. I can't tell the future.
Well, what would your opinions be on that? Do you think it's going to gain momentum, lose momentum?
No, like I said, I could see it being something akin to the Tea Party, where it kind of goes up and up and up, and it peaks, and then it'll come back down again.
I feel like it peaked.
And the way it will go up is by becoming more moderate.
Well-
because you're not going to gain those moderate votes unless you move toward the middle.
The problem is you're not going to be able to keep that name and make it more moderate.
I could well change.
I
That's
would
what I'm
100
saying. The
they would have
Tea
to.
Party
I
kind of
100%
morphed
hope
into
they
MAGA.
change the
That's
name.
what I'm saying. I mean,
I would love them to change the name.
yeah. I
The
wouldn't
name
think
doesn't make
No
sense.
Kings is going to stick
And I would
around,
think that maybe they should go for, but that's the problem. The
But
people
they-
funding all this aren't moderates. They're extreme leftists. So I don't know. I don't know how they're going to go more moderate if the people that are actually providing the funds to have all these. Have you ever seen the tents full of supplies for these? They're insane.
Love it.
That one of them,
You mean like for sign making supplies and things
No.
like
No,
that?
for
like
like
for
gas
food and
masks, for
drink and
food,
all that
for
stuff.
medical supplies. This one donor donated those chest compression machines to them. You ever see those? You strap on someone's chest and it does chest compressions for you. Those are like $2,000-$3,000 each, and they have like 6 of them.
Nice.
So if you join the rally or you sign up or whatever, you get some free food and stuff.
You get free snacks.
I mean,
that's probably half the people right there.
And can we get one of those compression jammies?
Oh, if I get one,
Jammies.
I'm taking one for the podcast because if you keep it up, so oh my God, you're gonna need it. Because we're gonna keep going while you're laying there, and I'm just gonna put the machine on you. All right, we're gonna keep this segment going.
That's fair.
But
did you call an ambulance in the meantime?
No. We gotta keep going. This is a professional operation. I keep telling you that. You
The
don't
show
seem to
must go
understand
on.
it.
I get it.
But yeah, I don't know. I just don't see it. I think it's fringe. I know 7 million is what they said, and I looked into what you said, and that was the organizers' estimates were 7 million.
That's what it is an estimate. Yeah.
So it is, and it was the people that set the thing up that said 7 million. It wasn't like they went around and say, "All right, everyone, can everyone raise their hands, please?" And when I point at you, put them down.
No,
1,
but even
2.
Bill O'Reilly said it was in that area. He goes, it could have been 6 something. It could be 8. He goes, you can't. There was a lot of people though.
I mean,
I don't look at that as a lot.
That's fine.
Out of
That's
50 states, I mean, that doesn't really seem like a crazy high number.
No,
That
it's
answered
not.
my question. So this isn't one location. This was all.
This is all across the country.
Yes, and actually they found MSNBC manipulating the actual video footage. I think it was of Washington. They changed the contrast on it because the initial footage, a lot of the people were wearing black, and you could see a lot of space in between people. So they switched it and made it look like they were wearing white, and it blended in with the ground, so it looked like a lot more people were in a smaller area. And I'm like, this is the mainstream media doing this. So just imagine the other little manipulations that people don't catch. It blows my mind they get away with stuff like that. And because of manipulation like that is why we have these people going out doing crazy things in marches. Because they've been just spoon-fed so much bullshit for so long, they actually believe it. Like, in case in point is one of the people that go to Killebrew. Out of her mind.
Well,
you can't even have a conversation with her because everything she parrots is from MSNBC.
And she's very far left.
Very far. But that's the reason. This is the only media she watches is MSNBC, and they are so full of shit. And this is where her beliefs, and you can't even question, because I asked one question, lost her mind. Lost her mind.
All I'll say is it doesn't change, her outbursts and the way she responds, but you do poke the bear sometimes.
Well, when someone starts with me, they call me.
It's not starting with you if you poke the bear.
No, I never start. I always I
the
didn't
other
start.
day you do sometimes.
Well, with her I do because it's just
No,
that's
with
my
her, I
entertainment.
think you-
I didn't start with her.
Not that time. I don't
I
really
haven't.
did anything.
Since
that
we
time.
got into a big argument that one time, I don't even talk about it
But
until
before
she brings it up.
before you did?
Before I used to mess with her, yeah, obviously.
But it's been years now.
saying-
It's been years,
It's been
yeah.
a long time.
He's an instigator.
I am a
Is that what
little.
you're saying?
I can be. But
Shocked? Are you shocked?
The potential exists.
I would say over the last few years, I have definitely more of a responder.
He's gotten better.
That's why my nickname is the closer now. So,
Are you Kira Sedgwick?
or the solution. That's better. Let's
That
go with
is better.
Let's
Go
go
with
with
that.
that. Call me
And it
the
starts with
solution.
S.
Yeah.
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 Because the other one's
Then you could have a
taken.
nice S on your chest.
I'm a Halloween Nightmare Before Christmas
Where's
/
Sherman Helmsley?
grunt style.
I thought that was the
No, because people say I wear it too much. Whatever. That's
what I'm
fine.
asking.
You do wear it a lot.
Which people?
love that
on the
shit.
show.
Is that on a particular list?
Oh.
Probably.
Oh, it better not be.
I hope people don't notice the same stain that was here last time.
Why would you point that out? You probably can't even see it.
It's
on
a
camera.
jacket. That's not the same as a shirt.
Thank you very much.
Oh, no pen marks today from school.
Yeah, that's a big win for you. We'll do that in our local
It's
segment.
funny that you have to bring that up. He's
Somebody-
like, hey, guess, did you notice my arms are ink free today?
I'm so infamous. When somebody walked into my job, they're like, "Hey, let me see your arm."
Yeah, right. People watching it. But as far as this protest goes, I think it's nonsense. I don't think it's going to go
I don't
anywhere.
think that day or that weekend in itself was anything, but I'm
if-
just saying keep
Well,
an eye on
If
it.
you do,
I think for you saying that it's the second one though just tells you that it hasn't gone down.
Is
Well,
there a
I-
schedule? Are they running on a schedule?
I'm sure
I don't know
eventually
of
they
any
will be.
other things
go?
right now.
Can we get on?
The next time they do one, if they do one in Rome again, we'll go to it. As a podcast, we'll go and do our own interviews. We got to buy some microphones.
Oh,
But if you go
More
to
microphones?
there's a couple YouTube. If you want to see what the actual people at these protests are saying, you guys talk for 1 second. I just
Are
want to
we
find.
doing
I
this
want to find a
again?
couple names.
They should
I'm
put
sorry,
those things
Tim.
that
I'm
matter.
sorry. I forgot.
We
I didn't
just
look this
brought
up.
this up.
Like my
Oh my
takeout
God,
place
hold on.
can't get crispy wings in a take-home container. That stay crispy
All right,
when you get them.
let's stay on topic though.
protest
Let's
that.
talk about the topic for Christ's sake. That's
I thought you were telling me to bring to-go boxes because there might be snacks.
Need
now
grilled
I'm feeling
wings.
like I got pressure on me to find the stupid thing because people are saying we don't.
Couldn't you just
Say
add
I'm
it in the
fast.
post credits or something?
I don't like doing that.
Fix it in post.
I don't like doing that. That's nonsense.
Very long pause.
Did you guys know there's multiple versions to Gilligan's Island?
Okay. All right. There's a couple YouTubers that go around and do this. One is Nate Friedman. He's fantastic. He's probably the best one that does it. He goes around and exposes all these people that are at every single protest they have to push every single liberal policy in the country. And he goes from Seattle to New York to Florida, and he exposes these people and finds out what their salaries are and how much they're getting paid for it.
Does he go
All
to
right,
Minnesota?
but
He has been to Minnesota.
Once again, where the heck is the schedule that he knows where to keep showing up?
Well, just look for the national protests.
Well, I mean, everybody knew. Yeah, you know when the protests.
There's
are.
another
Yeah, but
one
it doesn't
called
tell me where or when.
Angela Rose. She's another good one that goes around.
Nice.
Cam Higbee. He's more of a Charlie Kirk. So he goes to like a lot of college
goes
campuses
and speaks with people?
has debates with people at college campuses. He's like Charlie Kirk 2.0. He's not as good as him.
I was going to say you're not going to be
He's not as good
as
as
him.
him.
He was so good at it.
One I don't really. I think she's a big instigator, but she runs into this problem all the time. It's called Liberty Hangout.
Oh,
She goes around and she kind of like
Is her
pokes
name
the bear.
Liberty?
I don't know what her name is. But she will get them going and they lose their minds and they start blowing kazoos at it, and then it's just
Yeah, we
nonsense.
don't need to.
And one I just saw this morning, this is the last one. Her Patriot Voice, another one. She's African American, relatively young, married to an Indian, not a Native American. You're like a 10th Indian. Stop it.
Hey,
But
so
then she's interviewing like another black guy, and then some white guy comes over with a sign saying she's a troll and he tries to put it between them while they're talking. And then she's like, "Are you trying to tell two black people they can't have a conversation?" I go, "What kind of white person are you?" So I don't know. She's really good because she can play that card. You know what I
love
mean?
that.
Yeah.
She can play that card. But watch some of those, just the recent ones where she's going around and interviewing people at the No Kings rally.
maybe Steve will put some of those links in the description.
You'll be shocked to see how fucking stupid they are. These people are just
That's your first
god
F-bomb in a
awful.
while.
I know. Just thinking about watching those videos today, they are so stupid.
No,
Oh my
if you want to
god.
watch stupid videos, watch stupid videos about 6s and 7s.
Oh well, we already did that. That's old news now. But I don't know if do you guys have any more on this topic?
No.
No, I'm good.
I would actually love to hear other people's comments. So phone in. You can't do that yet. Or leave a comment in the comment section. Let us know exactly what you think. And if you're not like looking for work, you can say anything you want. No one cares.
Whoa. Are you thinking about going live at some point?
I'd love to.
Looking for work?
Wow.
Oh, that's a touchy topic.
Maybe.
Let's not get into that just yet.
Always.
I didn't know who he
It's
was
like a
talking
player
about.
being on the trade. Of course. If the offer's right.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm looking
I'd go back to
for
work
sale.
part time myself for the right deal.
Yeah, right.
Absolutely, like Yankees manager. Whatever, that's fine.
It might be over.
Nah, other guys coming
Or a
back.
protest circuit guy. I mean, if it's paying, right?
If you want to send me to interview, see, that's my problem is I wouldn't be able to go and interview these people because I'd get mad
You do get upset.
and I'd say stuff because these people have a lot of composure. You got to see how they maintain
Oh,
their
yeah.
composure. I couldn't do it.
You couldn't do it.
Well, that's it for this segment. If you got any questions or any comments, leave them down below. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you for watching Two Studs and a Dud. Please like, subscribe, and share this video.